Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter. T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Brought to you by Mongos, a full conquest in every bite.
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. I was just busy researching some post-classical civilizations. You know what's my favorite of the post-classical civilizations? The Roman Empire and the Mongolian Empire. Here, why don't you follow me into my lab? First, try to enter my super secret special code. Hey Bill. Hey Chuck. What's interesting about the Roman Empire and the Mongolian Empire is that they both had periods of time where they were the dominant forces in their regions. For example, the Roman Empire had a 200-year period of peace and prosperity known as Pax Romana. Similarly, the Mongolians experienced Pax Mongolica. It's fun and interesting to think about the characteristic qualities that made each of these civilizations rise to the top and ultimately fall to the bottom. Both Pax Romana and Pax Mongolica found similarity in their military structure, yet found differences in their battle strategy and religious tolerance.
Hi, I'm Chinggis, but you can call me Chuck.
Alright, Chuck, why don't you start by telling us the secret of your endless success?
Well, it all starts with a healthy, balanced breakfast. I prefer Mongos.
A full conquest in every bite.
Well, it's actually really quite simple. We organize our men into multiples of 10. 10 men make an Arabon. 10 Arabons make a Zun. 10 Zuns make a Myanger. 10 Myangers make an Atumen. All of which combine to make a full army of 10,000 men, which allows us to evenly disperse them throughout our territory.
Wow, that's impressive. What else do you do?
Well, we pride ourselves on our superior skill with horseback riding, as well as our bowmanship and lightmen. It allows us to be the fastest and deadliest in all of the land.
Interesting. Do outside nations ever influence your strategies, or is it all original?
It used to be all original, but then as we conquered more and more lands, such as China, it allowed us to find new technologies, such as the trebuchet, which allows us to take over more lands more efficiently.
Thanks, Chuck. Man, that Chuck, he's really a nice guy. You know, once you look past the slaughtering of thousands of people. Anyways, as he said, the Pax Mongolica structure of the highly organized decimal system of organizing his men into multiples of 10 was highly advanced and organized, which is what allowed him to succeed in his military conquest. Similarly, Pax Romana utilized many military formations, such as the wedge, for deep tactics such as the turtle defensive stance, or the wedge stance for deep penetration of their enemy's front lines. Now, what was similar about these civilizations is that both of their military organizations were highly organized and advanced. Now, this organization was what led them to ultimate victory and the domination of their respective regions.
Hello, it's Julius Caesar, and I'm here with my assistant to help demonstrate some of our fantastic battle strategies. First of which, one I pride myself on, is the wedge. Now, what the wedge is for is we use that to penetrate deep into our enemy's territory. If in a fight of any kind, we have bowmen in the back, the two, and then we have the wedge to be able to break through and let our main forces get through. The second one we have is the orb. Now this is more of a defensive position, and we use this just in case we all happen to get into a bit of a situation where we can't really control what's going on, and then we come back here in order to be able to defend ourselves from the invaders. So, one of the other ones we have is called the tortoise. Now this one is specifically for penetration into the enemy line. We use this one whenever we need to have protection when we're running in from the front, the flanks, and the top when it comes to archers. The two on the sides are used for any flankers who decide to come in. We have 4 in the middle to be able to block all arrows from hitting us, and the two in the front are in order to block all from the front. Hello, it's me again, Chinggis Khan. I just wanted to kind of explain some of our more favored tactics, one of which is to draw out the enemy. Now how we do this is we send in a very weak squadron in the front to go and battle our opposing forces that we're trying to invade. And then, after a while, a small little battle, we fake running away, acting as if we've given up and that we can't handle it. So then when we run away, most of the time, they get cocky and they start running after us, hoping to destroy us. When that happens, we have two groups on the flanks who come in to try to intercept and destroy them, causing our main force to turn around and us to end up obliterating them completely.
The battle strategies under Pax Romana and Pax Mongolica were very distinct. Under Chinggis Khan, the Mongolians used many tactics, but one of their favorites was the decoy strategy. An initial group of infantry would storm the enemy base up front, and then after a short skirmish, they would retreat, acting as if they had lost the battle. Then, during the retreat, as the enemies left their base to chase out the fleeing Mongols, the rest of the Mongols would flank from the side on cavalry. This was a really effective strategy as it utilized the element of surprise and that the enemy would not be prepared and not be inside their fortified base. The Romans, however, preferred to use different formations in their battle scenes. For example, as we saw earlier, the turtle and the wedge formations were used for high defense and effective penetration of enemy defense, respectively. While the Mongols relied on luring enemies out of their base for the element of surprise and attacking them while they were unprepared, the Romans used highly adaptable forms of combat that way they could beat their enemies despite them still being heavily fortified.
Here in my stables with my 10,000 man cavalry. Here, let me give you a closer look of my 10,000 man cavalry. Yep. But you want to know what I like more than this 10,000 man cavalry? Religion. That's why I have these foreign advisors here from these countries that I've conquered.
You need Jesus.
Thanks. You may have seen my ancient letters where it talks about how I tolerate one religion per day. Now that's not just a show off, see, it's all about the religion. See, the thing is, this 10,000 man cavalry, my 10,000 man cavalry, it's actually just a reminder about how conquering is still possible. See, because I was just a small young boy in a tribe that was captured and I was beaten and sold into slavery. The thing is still possible. The religion. My 10,000 man cavalry.
Pax Romana and Pax Mongolica also have interesting qualities outside just their military tactics and warfare strategies. Both the empires had their own unique different views on how they should tolerate religions and social customs within their empires. Now, as Chuck said, the Mongol Empire always tolerated all religions with their empire, and he also enjoyed the advice that each of his foreign advisors would bring. What made this so interesting, however, is that Chuck himself was a member of the shamanistic beliefs of his own people, yet he still was able to, he still kept an open mind and tolerated the ideas that his foreign advisors would bring to him. However, in the Roman Empire, this was vastly different. Instead of open toleration, like the Mongols, they openly discriminated against and persecuted other religions in their empire. This was most notable in the pagans' discrimination.
As you know, the Mongols are very tolerant towards religions. With the Romans, it's the same story. Today's demonstration is brought to you by the SpongeBob figurines of history. Just like the Mongols, the Romans tolerated most of the well-known world religions, like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. But this is where it gets different. People that believed in non-traditional practices, or pagans, were driven out of the empire. And some of them were even killed. Thank you for watching this segment of Consider the Following.
You can make this cool model at home. With just marshmallows and toothpicks, you can make your own Roman military formation. As you can see here, we recreated the wedge. These people right here are the shieldmen and infantry, and this person back here is the archer.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. We hope you learned a lot about Pax Romana and Pax Mongolica and how they relate to each other in similarities and differences. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to researching some post-classical civilizations. Bye. Hi, I'm Chinggis Khan.
Wait a second.
Did I mention I'm Chinggis Khan?
Wait a second, go. This was a Roman tactic, actually. They would use this type of formation to be able to stealthily invade everywhere.
No one's ways. What is
What?
With just marshmallows and toothpicks, you can make your own Roman They are the shield and infantry, and
Bill Nye the Science Guy.